Hey guys, so we're back again at school. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. This week, like I told you last week, is our last week of actually teaching stuff in math, which is really awesome. So this week we're going to talk about customary units, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with. A lot of times we can talk about customary units in the kitchen, cooking. We can talk about weight. We can talk about measuring things. So very quickly, I'm going to flash up just a couple different things, and hopefully you guys have known or seen something like this before. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this right here. I'll bring it a little bit closer. Can anybody tell me what this is? Does anybody know the name? I think I heard somebody say ruler, and ruler's correct. This is a ruler. I'm sure most of you guys have seen these, probably use this in math at some point. What about this right here? Much bigger than a ruler. I'll compare the ruler up here so that way you guys can see. There's a ruler compared to the next thing that I'm holding. I'll bring it a little bit closer so that way you guys can see it. Starts at 1, goes all the way down right there. Can anybody tell me what this is right here? This is called a yardstick. So some of you guys may have used this to measure your height at one point in time. Next thing, show you, it looks like this. If you've ever cooked in the kitchen with your parents, chances are that you've probably seen one of these before. This is a measuring cup. And you'll see right here that it has some units of measure on this side, and it also has units of measure on that side as well. And last but not least, this is one of Mrs. West's recipes, which I'm sure you guys have seen before in the kitchen with your parents. And it has all different types of measurements and things like that on it. She has to use one of these in order to cook in the kitchen. And so I'm sure a lot of your parents read these in order to help them cook in the afternoon. So today, like I said, we're going to start talking about customary measurements. When we talk about customary measurements, there's 3 types. So there's length, there's weight, and there's volume that we'll talk about. And I'm sure that all of you guys are familiar with these, so we are just going to spend a little bit of time reviewing these. First thing first is length, and like I showed you guys, that's what we use the ruler for and our yardstick for. So a couple different conversions that you guys are going to need to know for length are going to be feet, inches, and yards. So as we're looking at this, in 1 foot, which is what this is right here, how many inches are in there? Can anybody tell me? Anybody see what that number is right there on the end? There are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay? Now, 3 feet equal how many yards? It would have to equal one of these yardsticks here. There are 3 feet in 1 yardstick, and 1 yard, it's not 35 inches. There's 1 missing right there. It is 36 inches. So hopefully you guys answered most of these in your head or maybe out loud with me as we went along. These are all for length. Different things that we can measure with length. We can measure how tall we are. We can measure how long we are. I was watching the draft this weekend, and they were, talking about how tall all of the players were. And that right there is height. A lot of them were 6 feet, 2 inches and a quarter. So different things like that. The second thing that we're going to talk about is our weight. So with weight, we talk about pounds, ounces, and tons. When we talk about a pound, 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So when you were born, they measured you in pounds and ounces. I was 7 pounds, 2 ounces when I was born. For those of you who have had siblings, you probably remember what your siblings weigh when they were born. And then last but not least, we have tons. So we have 2,000 pounds, and 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So oftentimes you'll hear talk about elephants or big 18-wheeler trucks weighing tons. Things like that are going to be that heavy. last but not least, we have our volume. And when we talk about volume here, we're talking about the liquid volume. So we're talking about how much water do I need to fit in this cup right here. So when we talk about volume, we're going to talk about cups and fluid ounces and pints and quarts and gallons. So I have my chart here. 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 quart equals 2 pints. And 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. And I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with a gallon of milk. Something else that you guys may be a little bit more familiar with is our big G. And I'm sure all of you guys learned about this in 4th grade. We have our big G, which represents our gallon. Our 4 quarts, so 4 quarts equal a gallon. 2 pints equal 1 quart, so our 2 pints are inside of our quart here. And then inside of our pint, we have 2 cups. So that means that in 1 gallon, there are 2, 4, 6, 8 pints. In 1 gallon, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. In 1 gallon, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cups. Okay, so this can always help you. You can always use this too to figure out your big G, or to figure out your volume. Now, something else that I know that we've talked about that you will need to refamiliarize yourself with is metric measurement. So when we talk about metric measurement, you guys learned a saying. Can anybody remember what that saying is? Starts with king. It was King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. So I'm going to label my stair step, and that's what I refer to this as. I refer to this as my set of stairs here. So you guys know that anytime I have to move up my stairs or I move down my stairs, we know that unit here represents things like meter, liter, and gram. Those are our 3 units right there. In 1 kilogram, there's 1,000 grams. So if I have here 1 kg, and I need to figure out how many grams are in there, all I have to do is move down. 1, 2, 3. So when I move down, I also move my decimal. 1, 2, 3. So that means that there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So I'm sure that you guys have notes in your notebook somewhere on this, and this is just the beginning of reviewing this part. But we are learning, I know you guys learned metric a long time ago, back in 1st quarter. Now that we're going back to customary, we are going to be talking about this kind of interchangeably. So you will need to make sure that you're familiarizing yourself with this over the next couple of days. Okay? Good news, we only have about 4 weeks until testing, 5 weeks until the end of school. So make sure, again, that you're staying focused in the library, you're ready to go, you're ready to learn. Okay? Keep up the good work, guys.